Good afternoon, and welcome to this week's Small Business Town Hall. Today's conversations will include an update from the director, Matt Weldon. He's the director of the Department of Labor and Training, as well as we're going to hear from Chris Parisi, who is the co-founder of the Rhode Island Small Business Coalition. We're going to hear important information from both of them, and so looking forward to that conversation. But first, I would like to begin, and I want to remind all of our viewers of some important information. I always like to remind everyone that we have still available funding through the Rent Relief RI. So if anyone that you know of or anyone in your family needs assistance on paying the rent, they can apply at Rent Relief RI. And also, these funds can be used to pay for utility expenses. So if they're behind on paying gas, electric, and any other utilities, they can also apply for these funds. And these funds are not just available for the tenants to apply. The landlords actually can apply if their tenants are falling behind on the rents due to the COVID pandemic. So please make sure to check that information. Make sure to apply. Don't take yourself out of the process. Apply, and you'll be surprised. There's so many opportunities for you to qualify for this funding. As well, I would like to announce that starting last week, we finally have funding available for the homeowners. Once the Rent Relief RI program was launched, one of the number one questions that I was getting is, what about the homeowners? What about us? Is there going to be any support for us? Well, I have to say that yes, we have a program available starting last week. It's managed through Rhode Island Housing also. And there is a total of $50 million available to help the homeowners. So any homeowners that is having difficulties paying their mortgage, due to the pandemic, if you lost income due to the pandemic, or if your expenses increase due to the pandemic, you're able to apply for those funding. There is a $50 million available, and it's going to be available as the applications roll out. So make sure that if you are in need for these funds, apply as soon as possible. You can find this information going through Rhode Island Housing and the Rhode Island Housing /HAFRI. All the information is going to be there. Finally, I just have to use this opportunity again to remind everyone that if we want to get over this pandemic, if we want to see our economy being strong and for all of us to be safe, the best option that we have is to get our vaccines. So if you have not gotten your vaccine, I'm asking you to please reconsider your decision. We are making sure that we provide you with the information of where the vaccine is available for you to go and get the vaccine. Please make sure that all the members of your families also are getting vaccinated. We have to do our part, and the way how we can help to make sure that we're able to get past this pandemic is by getting our vaccine. And that is going to protect you and your family from getting ill to the point in which you have to end up going to the hospital. So the data is out there. Most of the individuals that end up going to the hospital are those that were not vaccinated. So make sure you get your vaccine. So with that, I just want to turn the conversation over to the director of the Department of Labor and Training, Director Matt Weldon, who's going to provide us with some information about what's happening in the Department of Labor and Training. Director?
Hey, Governor. How are you?
Good. Thank you, Director.
Good. It's good to be back. I just wanted to say I'm out quite a bit in the community, and in Rhode Island, people seem to be doing pretty well with masking. I think everybody in Rhode Island cares about one another. We're a small state, we're a community and a family, and that's good to see. I happen to live in a town that's on the border of Massachusetts, and sometimes I'm in Massachusetts, and the compliance isn't as good. So I'm very proud of my fellow Rhode Islanders, and that you're right. That's the way that we go forward. Vaccines, masking. Let's get through this so we can return to normal, please. Things at DLT, for a while they quieted down in unemployment, and we're still much less busy than we were before. But we used to have two what we call seasonal peaks a year. So if you were to look at a chart of how DLT handles claims and unemployment, you would see twice a year we got busy. During the pandemic, I told our staff, we were never really that busy. We thought we were busy, but we weren't. Well, that was true, except around the holidays, we see seasonal closures. So some industries and businesses stop working at the end of the year for a little while. And some areas like, school lunch workers and bus drivers and bus aides go on claims. So why am I saying all that? Because our claim numbers are up a little bit from where they were, which is expected this time of year. We were down in the 6,000 to 7,000 range for quite a while. We're back up to 8,900 payments made last week. Those are not 8,900 people. That's 8,900 payments. So they're probably 8,000 people or so. And some people got more than 1 week's payment because they got through and took care of an issue. So we're busy, but it's not as crazy as it had been. Where we're much busier than we were before is TDI. And there's a good reason for that. Right now, Rhode Island law requires people in unemployment to be able to work, available for work, and to actively seek work. If you've been impacted by COVID, meaning that you have to quarantine or stay with a family member that has to quarantine or care for a family member that has COVID, or you yourself have COVID, then you're not able to work. You're not available for work. So you're not eligible for unemployment anymore. We don't have the federal programs that we once had. So people are applying for TDI. So what does that mean? How is that different than regular TDI? Well, we had some flexibility during the pandemic that we no longer have, meaning we could pay you if you were out for less than a week. The law requires you to be out for a week. I don't have the ability to change that myself. But what I can do is accept doctor's notes. I can accept test results. I can accept notes or emails from a school. I get emails every day from my kids' schools about people that have been close contacts. We'll accept that. Sometimes an employer just wants someone to stay home for a week or two until they can get themselves in a good, healthy place to come back. Maybe that they don't have it, but they think they should quarantine and they haven't been directed to by Department of Health, but it's a good idea maybe. If the employer does that, we're asking to put an email together, put it in writing. That'll help us pay claims. What we can't do is just take everybody's word for it. And so the TDI claim numbers are up. We were around 6,000 a week, and now we're up closer to like 8,000. That'll probably come back down in the future. Right now, though, we're staying pretty busy. Workshare. I always like to get ahead of the workshare question because I feel it coming.
I'm going to ask about workshare.
63 companies are currently on workshare. That's still a lot more than we would typically have without the pandemic. Usually it's less than a dozen. And so, we're 5 times up. Good. I want employers to know that resource is available. You can find info on DLT's website. Workshare provides temporary benefits for staff that you need to reduce hours for so you don't have to lay them off. Stay connected to your staff. You spend a lot of time training people, a lot of money invested into people, and they've invested a lot to be a member of your team. We don't want you to separate and not be able to work together in the future. So please take advantage of the Workshare program. It's there for you. The benefits can be found online. Just real recap quickly, back to business grants that we put out late fall. Those grants went out. We had announced the program, and within 3 weeks, money was in hand. We paid about 1,574 employers. 23% of them were minority-owned businesses. And we put $7.5 million into Rhode Island small business community. Hopefully that helped. We'll see, later this week, we'll see what the job numbers in December were, and we'll see if that helped get people back to work. I think that's my update. Very happy to take questions.
Thank you, Director. Thank you for that update. And I have to say that Back to Business program, I hear so much good feedback about it. So thank you for your hard work. And thank you for the work that you've been doing, especially now. We get the phone calls from individuals that has been getting COVID and expecting that they were going to have the same programs that were there before. Unfortunately, those were filled up programs that are not available anymore. So we have to do the TDI. That's the option. So thank you for that information.
Absolutely. We couldn't have done Back to Business without our partners at Skills for Rhode Island's Future. Helped us facilitate that very quickly. Look forward to continue to work with them as we help solve the worker shortage challenges.
That's right. Thank you. So let me check with Ben. Ben, do you have any questions for the director?
No. Hi, Director Weldon. There
Hey,
are
Ben.
no questions for you today.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you, director.
Thank
Great
you.
seeing you.
You
Uh,
too.
Next, we're going to bring Director Tanner, Liz Tanner from the Department of Business Regulation to hear how things are going. Hi, Director Tanner.
I've
What's
got my
going
mask
on?
on again. I feel like I needed to re-show people. You know, you still have people with it below the nose. You know, it's
I'm
gotta go
okay.
above
I
the nose.
love my mask, so that's fine. I love it.
Making sure everybody still remembers above the
Yes.
nose. You know, it's so strange to be back to all of this again, but nonetheless, that's where we are.
That's
Thank
what
you
we
so
have
much
to
for
do.
having me. I was hoping I would just give a little bit of an update of how things are going. We've started back up the inspections.
Yes.
As you know, we focus very much on education and training and providing information to people. I had us Ben on a site, if he could pull up reopeningri.com. You have on there, you have all of the signage that a business could need. So it's about wearing masks and things like that. So it's reopeningri.com. And there's links on there, both in English and in Spanish, for posters that your business can use, because we want to make sure everyone's wearing a mask. Super important to do that. And I'll kind of, tell you why, right? I mean, the main reason is you're really wanting to, there you go. Ben's got it all right there. So tough for me to read.
It's on top of his game.
But there it is, right? So reopeningri.com, and you have all of the information that you need for signage. And we do ask that you put them up. And it's really important because the complaints that we're getting mostly now are from employees who are saying, I don't feel protected in my place of work, right? So you really want to take care of your employees. It's really important for them to know that you're doing your best as a business owner to take care of them. We also want to make customers comfortable. I was actually out running a couple of errands this weekend. And I will say there were very few people out and about. But for those who were, they did have their masks on, sometimes double masked, which is important as well. Ben, thank you so much for showing all that. That's really important to see. And if you're looking for anything else that's not available on there, just let us know. We've completed a couple hundred inspections since we restarted the task force, and we'll give you a little report on that. But the signage has been excellent. Most people do have their signs up, and again, the customers very much appreciate it, because I think there's still some question as to whether you're supposed. Some people just don't know what a store owner wants them to do. So when you've got a sign on your front door, then they know. So that's really helpful. I can say that we focused most of our energies around the holidays, around the biggest venues. The theaters, the clubs, those places that people attend events at for the holidays, and they were really great. They were really fantastic to work with. They gave out masks in places. They had hand sanitizing stations. They had signage all over the place, and they had people who were walking around making sure that people were doing things right with the masking in particular. And so we were very pleased with the largest venues of the state. Right now, we're doing a lot of work on the complaints that we get, and so again, it's a lot of employees. There's customers as well. And we're going and talking to folks and asking them. And I will say that, we are well into the 90% for compliance rate for mask wearing. So again, thank you to both the customers and the business owners. And we're also really excited about the signage that people are doing. So that's been great. So that's really just my little update to let you know, if people are looking for information, if you want to do something that you're not sure what the answer is, please let us know. But we would really like to see the businesses encouraging mask wearing, making sure that they're keeping their masks on, and if not, asking for a vaccination card, depending on what kind of business you have, so that we can make sure that we have that customer confidence that we've always talked about, so that we know people feel confident to go out and continue to build and grow the economy in the state of Rhode Island.
Thank you, Director. So the hotline, the number, and Ben had it posted. Here it is again. Thank you, Ben. So if because sometimes I have gotten some messages from individuals that says, oh, I went to this place and I didn't see enough compliance, too many people without masks. So this is the number that they can call?
Yeah, so you can call the number and leave a message, or you can go to the DBR website and you can fill out an online form. We will get back to you, because we'll probably kind of ask you maybe some questions. And then and kind of confirm what you've told us. And then we're going to either go out to visit or we're going to give a call to the business. It depends on what kind of business it is, of course. But you could do either one. If you wanted to make it anonymous, it can still be anonymous. But we're happy to receive your information and follow up on it and see what information we can find out, because it's important. People really, what we find sometimes is DBR also becomes the place that finds out about maybe an outbreak at a business. So employees will call and say, hey, a number of people have been sick and we're still working and we want to, have a conversation with our business owner. And so sometimes we work with the Department of Health sometimes on that too, to say, hey, if there's a lot of people sick, let's talk and let's get you the resource that you need. Let's get you testing. Let's get you special appointments for vaccinations, whatever it might be. All of those things are possible. So you can feel free to call that number and leave a message, or to go to the DBR online website and somebody will get back to you.
Thank you, Director. I remember last year we worked together on this since I was in the Providence City Council and then transitioned into this position. And whenever we had any complaints from any businesses, we communicated with your new department. You were always there responding and making sure that those businesses heard from the state and make the corrections. So thank you for your hard work. Truly appreciate that.
Thank you very much. Always a pleasure to be here, and hopefully next time we can talk about something a little more fun. But I think we've got a little bit more of this.
Well, we provided information to everyone to make sure that they have to be safe. That's the priority. We want everyone to be safe, and please, we have to hear from you. Remember, go to the DBR website. It's very important. Sometimes we get the calls and says, so-and-so supermarket. I'm not gonna say any names, but I say supermarket X. But what happened? That is a change in supermarkets. You gotta be more specific. You gotta let us know the city and also the address, so we know exactly what you're talking about. So try to be as specific as possible when you fill out the form online. Okay? Thank you, Director. Thank you so much for your information, and looking forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you much.
Thanks, Ben. So next, we don't have any questions for the Director, right? We good? So
we do not have any questions for the Director, but I did Liz.
The mask.
I'm always
nice job, Ben.
Yeah, look what I
with the N95 and the KN95.
There you go.
So, and I also have this beauty. I have to say, I got this from Jerry in Woonsocket. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful?
Oh, very nice. I used to come on with masks that I had bought at local businesses. So
I can match it with this. Look at this.
There you go. Oh, very nice.
Very nice. All right.
Thank you, Director. So next we're going to go to the Secretary of Commerce, and actually the Secretary was there with me when we went to Woonsocket when I got this mask. So Secretary Pryor, thank you so much for joining us.
Day.
Remember that day?
Yes, I have. I don't have that mask in front of me, but I have one too.
You have one too, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So great to see you back
nice to
here.
See you.
Can you give us an update how things are going?
Yes, ma'am. Big day today. Quite obviously, it's the Governor's State of the State Day. And I know that we will all be listening carefully for what he offers in the way of new opportunities and new investments for small businesses. And I believe that we will be very pleased. The governor and lieutenant governor have been very focused on these issues, and we'll be hearing more tonight. We want to let the governor speak for himself, of course, and delineate the key points around small business among his other points. But I know that the governor is focused on eliminating unnecessary barriers for small business, on providing new investment mechanisms and measures for a small business, including more in the way of overcoming COVID-related impacts, and that the governor is focused on the minority business community and ensuring that we continue to focus and enhance our focus as to MBEs. So those are not the entirety of what the governor will have to say, but I'm very pleased that we've reached this day. And a lot of this, of course, Lieutenant Governor, a lot of these themes, these proposals, these initiatives derive from the 2030 process that together we've been working on over these many months, and that the governor's been working on over these many months. So all the Rhode Islanders and all the small business people who participated in that, thank you. What I want to do today was just talk for a couple of minutes about the down payment that has now passed, that we've talked about many times on your program, Lieutenant Governor, and we'll have more details in future programs. But just to remind the small business community that I know is focused on additional relief, that a modest amount of additional relief is coming. So, of course, Governor McKee, Lieutenant Governor Matos, and our administration proposed a down payment called Rhode Island Rebounds that aim to provide new investments in response to continuing COVID challenges and crises in key areas such as housing, childcare, and of course, small business. As to the small business component, this package passed at $119 million on January 4th, in the first day of business, when the legislature came back, which was really the very last day of the previous legislative session. I want to say just these things about the small business relief grant component of that overall package. There will be a new round of grants. We expect them to be along the lines of our previous Governor McKee era relief grants, which were $5,000 per business and aimed at those businesses that had experienced losses of that amount once you take into account the revenue loss itself, the amount of aid received in the given time period from other federal and state sources, and expenses. So you take those things into account, and if there's still a $5,000 gap, a $5,000 net need, then the business is eligible for that. We are actively reviewing the federal rules, reviewing the legislation, working with small business partners, and seeing whether it would be merited to have a lower threshold in case a small business experienced a smaller loss, but should be eligible for example, $2,500. So as not to exclude them, but to include them, we might have a yet lower tier. And a few other things to say. We expect to open applications by the end of the month, by the end of January. So in a very short period of time, we'll put plenty of notice out when we do, and we'll provide for lots of help and guidance on how to use the digital application. So Facebook Live, in person, and other digital open office hours with some of our technical assistance partners, all will be available. We will utilize the $12.5 million that is the subcomponent for small business relief, direct relief in the package. I will note that after this program gets rolling, we will offer the opportunity for businesses that have been severely impacted in the areas of hospitality, events, and tourism, the three areas that are specified in the state legislation. We will enable businesses to show if they've had bigger losses, if they can demonstrate bigger net need, and there may be additional opportunities we can offer through additional programming, through other dollars that are programmed in the package. But the first program that will roll out is the one that is similar to the relief grants, and we're making really, really good progress on getting the technology in place, interpreting all the rules, and getting that ready to roll. So look for that by the end of the month. We'll come back here, Lieutenant Governor, with your permission and invitation, and we'll explain it all here. Members of the Commerce team will. So I think that's what I want to say for today. Yeah. And always I'm welcoming of questions either here or as follow-ups.
I'm looking forward to that opportunity for you to come back and explain the program once it's ready to go live. I was just checking the chat where you were speaking, and I have some updates. One is Geraldine Bacali-Kin is connected, so she knows we're talking about the mask.
Yay! So, hi, Jerry.
So, Jerry, make sure you put in the link to your page so people know where to go and find them. So, all wonderful things that you have available. We have
what an amazing boutique.
Right?
So we recommend it to everyone. It's really dazzling and a great place to shop for a gift for someone or for yourself.
In unique items you can find there. So
Very
make sure you
unique
go
and
and
wonderful.
visit. Yes. So we have Tina. Tina has some really good messages. One is anyone that is watching this, make sure you share the information so everybody else can hear the important information that we have right now.
Tina's amazing. Thank you,
Tina's
Tina.
amazing. She's everywhere. You and me are gonna be joining her
Yes.
show soon. So that's
Yes,
coming
we are.
up. But she has some questions about using the funding for business to make the business accessible. So I don't know if you have any information right now, or when you come back, we can touch on that.
Yeah, what I would say right on the spot, and we could always talk more about it, of course, is that the funds, if a business is eligible for COVID reasons, meaning the impacts, the language that we use in this program is net need, that revenue loss with the expenses taken into account and the government grants taken into account. If the business has that loss, the money can be used for anything. So that it absolutely can be used for accessibility.
Great. Thank you.
Yes.
That's wonderful news. Wonderful
Definitely.
news. So with that, let me just check with Ben. Ben, anything that I'm missing that we should touch on?
Nope, I don't think so. Hi, Secretary.
Hi, Ben. Great to
Yeah.
see you.
You too. All right.
Thank you, Secretary. Looking forward to Governor McKee's State of the State today, where we're going to hear all this information that is coming, and I'm so looking forward to
Same
the
here,
speech
Lieutenant
tonight.
Governor.
Okay?
See you this evening.
I'll see you this evening. Thank you. Bye. I just want to say thank you, Johanna, for keeping the information in the chat, putting all the links and all the phone numbers. Thank you for doing that. But next, we're going to go with Chris Parisi. Chris, tell me how things are going. You're like me, like you have the sun right on your
I've
face.
been changing my positions all day, trying to get the right spot.
I've been
didn't
like
quite hit it.
moving here, there. You can see the sun. I've been moving. It feels like I'm dancing in my chair.
I know. I'm trying to get the right spot here. But
Yes,
thank you, Lieutenant Governor,
welcome.
for having me on. Welcome. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
it
So
already-
I want to hear from you. I know that you have been very crucial in providing information to the governor and his team. We're so looking forward to his speech tonight. Tell me how you're feeling and what do you hear out there?
I would say that, one of the biggest things that we're hearing, no matter what type of business you're in, is that, folks are pretty tired, right? Because they've battled through this for almost 2 years, and now we're at the point towards the end of 2021 and head into the new year where we're hit with something else as a small business owner. Mm-hmm. And no one asked for it. It's no one's fault, right? That this exists. The fact is that it does exist, and it's just another hurdle for small businesses to try to fight through. So our message to all of our small businesses is we got to keep the good fight. There will be a light at the end of the tunnel. And there's great government programs that will be out to assist these small businesses that are struggling. Some may feel it's not enough, or some may feel it's not soon enough. But I know there's a lot of government services and folks out there that are doing their best to help out the small businesses, and for all of the hard work that you have done and sacrifices that you have made these past 2 years. Do not give up just yet. Keep fighting. And that's the message that we have for our small businesses. We do feel a little hopeful. It's tough to feel it right now with everything going on. And it seems like I'm in the darkness, but I swear I'm not. Here we go. But be hopeful, to stay hopeful, and that we will get through this together on the other side of this pandemic.
Thank you, Chris. That is a very important message. I for all the small business community out there. We know how hard you work. We're here to listen to you, and we're doing everything we can to address the challenges that you're facing. Continue to participate with the Small Business Coalition. Make sure that your voice is heard. If we don't stay with the frustration and the challenges that you're going by yourself. Speak to someone in the Small Business Coalition. Share your experience. Probably you may be going through something that by you speaking up, they're probably there are many other businesses also going through the same thing. And when you speak up and you bring the issue to our attention, it gets addressed. So please, as Chris says, we know you have gone through a lot in this last 2 years, but please don't give up. We're here to support you and everything that we can. So, Chris?
Thank you, and that's right. We can only share what we hear. So continue to voice your concerns, your ideas, and suggestions as we then relay it to our leaders in the state. We do have two things. One of them is on the recent executive order that Director Tanner has talked about, where they've been providing the education to the small businesses that over 90% have complied, which is great to hear. And that signage is important that Director Tanner laid out. If you're a small business owner, go to reopeningri.com and download that signage. From what I'm hearing, it's pretty difficult for certain businesses to try to manage and enforce and deal with the customers. You already have a labor shortage, so there is difficulties with that for sure. And we're hoping that signage can equal enforcement in addition to making sure your employees are safe, your customers are safe, doing what you can. But it's just one other suggestion that we have. But whether that equals enforcement or not, 100%, you should put it up on your signs, on your doors to communicate that to your customers and to your staff. And number two is the grants. So Secretary Pryor alluded to them. So these will be small business relief grants similar to the previous program that Governor McKee's office has laid out that has been successful. So we're looking forward to these grants that come out. Our suggestion, and we're urging, and I know we don't need to because I know they have the fire within them, but we're urging Commerce to get those grants out as soon as they can. I know they want to, I know they will, but we're just relaying what we're hearing is the longer we wait, the more word they get. And having this grant program out will give these small businesses a glimmer of hope that is so desperately needed.
That's a good point. And I forgot to mention when the secretary was still connected, I was watching the meeting of the Commerce Department in which they approved the package. I think we're going to see this funding going out as soon as possible. Like they're working really hard to make sure the funding goes out to the business community as soon as possible. So kudos to the Commerce Department for the work they're doing. So, thank you so much. Thank you, Chris, for joining us as always. And thank you for the time and that you have spent providing feedback to the governor and his team. We truly appreciate your input and your feedback. So thank you so much.
My pleasure. Looking forward to the State of the State tonight, 7 p.m. Tune in.
7 p.m. We're looking forward to that. So make sure all of you turn in tonight. Tonight, the governor's going to do his State of the State address, and we're going to hear a lot about what he's proposing in his budget. So there's going to be a lot of information in there. Make sure you connect tonight and watch the State of the State address from Governor Dan McKee, and you're going to hear so many good information, good news for our business community. So stay tuned. With that, I want to say thank you for all of you who connected today and attended this conversation. Looking forward to doing this again in 2 weeks. Please make sure to send us your questions and feedback. Connect with my office and let us know if there's any particular item that you would like for us to cover in this conversation. So with that, take care, stay safe, and see you in the next time.